So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me.
You know, it's rare that I actually make videos like this because I always talk about, character essays, understanding a fighter, why they do certain things, and attacking boxing narratives, but for some reason I couldn't help myself. This fight genuinely intrigues me because it feels like boxing is kind of at a stale point right now. We've got AJ and Fury just not happening for whatever reason. A fight that should be in the UK, to be honest with you. So we need to turn to America. We need to look at what's going on there. And to be honest, this is a big fight. I'm thoroughly looking forward to this fight because these guys have both got losses and there's no fear anymore. We're not hiding behind undefeated records. We're not hiding behind negotiations. We're just getting straight down to business. So this weekend, August 22nd, we've got Romero defending his WBA Welterweight belt versus Teofimo Lopez. Lopez is on his mission to become a 3-division world champion, already winning titles at 135 and 140, and technically has a claim for 2-time undisputed. And we've got Romero, who has got to be the luckiest person in boxing, might I just add. Rolly Romero is a 2-time world champion based off nothing but absolute fucking vibes. Romero is 17-2 with 13 KOs, 76% knockout rate. He puts people away when he hits them. Lopez is 22-2, 13 KOs, moving up in weight to chase this one. And this is coming off his wide decision loss to Shakur Stevenson, in which you'd be lucky to give him a round. Rolly Romero focuses on pressure and power, and is known to have one of the most awkward styles in boxing, closes the distance and looks for the finish. While Rolly still has that awkward style, since Ismail Salas took over as his head coach, he's been focusing heavily on fundamentals, precision, and developing a tactical style. And is coming off his biggest career win against Ryan Garcia, a fight in which, well, was awful to watch, but showcased that Rolly can stay disciplined and stay tactical. All he really had to do to beat Ryan was keep his right hand to his face, and that was enough to completely throw Ryan off his game and take away his heart. However, it's important to note that the Ryan-Rolly fight was 15 months ago, and Rolly's career hasn't really moved at all since. Failed negotiations with Devin Haney, and that's about it. That being said though, it's nice to see that Rolly went from arguably one of the most memed in the boxing community, and don't get me wrong, still incredibly lucky, to actually becoming a bit more respected in that field, with many believing he has a serious chance. Meanwhile, on the other hand, despite Rolly coming off his best win, he's about to face someone who just came off their worst loss. There's a widespread theory that Lopez is very inconsistent, and I actually don't agree with that at all. I just think Teofimo Lopez struggles when he's against a pure boxer on the outside, because when you put Teofimo on the front foot, he actually looks a little bit clueless at points, like when he struggled to close off the distance against Jermaine Ortiz and cut off the ring. However, when he's on the back foot, that's where you really see him shine. When he fought against Vasily Lomachenko, he looked great in that fight because Lomachenko was coming forward. When he fought against Josh Taylor, he looked brilliant on the back foot too. I'm not going to mention that fight again though because I consider it Scottish boxing's 9/11. And this is the type of fight where he can be on the back foot and use his counters and his fancy showmanship style to his advantage. And honestly, despite what my official prediction is going to be, winners boxing, because we got two guys who are willing to just do it all because they've already lost. It's good to see that in this era, especially since we've had a lot of people scared to fight. It feels like this year's just been kind of chaotic for boxing, to be honest, and since the start of the year, especially with Stevenson Lopez, we've just not really seen any huge fights in my opinion. And it's really refreshing to see that these two actually have a lot of respect for each other and even consider each other friends, especially considering in this day and age, with a lot of the negotiations and stuff going around, people are less likely to fight people because they're friends now. Shakur is the one that comes to mind along with Keyshawn Davis. It's really nice to see, and I honestly hope this can be a change for boxing in this regard, because friendship is one thing, but business is another. Honestly, I hope these two have a podcast as well, because they're fucking hilarious together. I think one thing is guaranteed. Despite Lopez's mental state and the way people talk about him and this and that and the back and forth, Lopez has definitely got a million times more heart and dog than Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia basically gave up after the knockdown, and I don't think Teofimo is going to have that same effect if it does happen to him. The both of them appear to be taking this very seriously, with Teofimo considering this his career on the line, and Romero is taking this far more seriously because he believes that Teofimo has a million times more dog in him. And here's my prediction. Now, I totally understand it. Resume is not everything in boxing, and heck, literal last video I talked about it's not everything in boxing, but I can't help but notice the discrepancy in resumes. When I was making that highlight reel for both of them at the start, I found so much more footage of Teofimo than I did Rolly. It's actually crazy. Rolly's big fight is the Ryan Garcia fight and the Anthony Idjit fight. Outside of that, there is really nothing. He struggled against Ismael Barroso, he lost to Gervonta Davis, and he lost to Isaac Cruz. The big names on his resume are the guys that he lost to. And yes, Shakur doesn't have as good a resume as Teofimo, but he still beat Teofimo. That being said though, I still want to point out, Teofimo has not really faced a hard power puncher, and if he lunges in and doesn't take this seriously, he is capable of getting knocked down like we saw against George Kambosos, someone who is miles off Rolly Romero. I know someone's going to bring up the Richard Comey fight, but it's important to note in that Teofimo got him early, and he never actually took a clean shot from him, so it does raise questions. How is Teofimo going to react to a power punch? But that's what makes me have faith in him, because he's shown experience at the high level of boxing. When he fought against Vasily Lomachenko and the one that will not be named, I just think he has too much experience at the higher level to let himself be in a situation like that. Because I think we all know by now in the big 2026 that the George Kambosos fight was a fluke. I just have to favour Teofimo in this one. But dare I say, I can actually see a Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr.-esque performance here. I just have this vision in which Rolly struggles to cut off the ring and lunges in, and Teofimo just keeps countering sharp. But of course, Rolly always has that chance, and again, as I said previously, how is Teofimo going to react to a hard power puncher? As it stands, I just have to go with Teofimo. So my official prediction is Teofimo, unanimous decision. I don't think Teofimo's going to knock him out, because to be honest, I just don't think Teofimo has power at the higher weights. But I can see him outboxing him comfortably. Now again, there is always a chance that Rolly could land a punch on Teofimo, and that's it. But I just can't see Teofimo being wobbled or seriously hurt. I've never seen him hurt. Like, the very thought of Teofimo, like, wobbling about the ring is just nonsensical to me. I hope I'm not eating my words here, but yeah, I just can see Teofimo absolutely bewildering Rolly in there. I think Rolly will have a moment or two, but other than that, yeah, I think Teofimo's going to win comfortably. I'm also going to expose myself. I guess I'm not a boxing purist like I thought I was. But I want to cover the undercard of this one too, but unfortunately, I honestly know no one on the undercard except one of the 48 Gary Russells, so yeah, sorry guys, I guess I'm not as big a boxing fan as I thought. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if we hit 10 likes, I will personally DM Teofimo Lopez a death threat after what he done to Josh Taylor in 2023. So thanks for watching, see you later.
You just had to do it, huh?
Dale, you want to play a game?
Don't do it. See, this is what I mean.
I'm gonna play a game with you.
Yeah. This. Go ahead.